and welcome to the Rookie Reset. My name is Andrea Fitzgerald. I'm going to be your host this evening. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck is a Rookie Reset? Well, friends, it will be evenings just like this, except your girl will be stressed the hell out because I could not make it to my classroom. Quite frankly, I couldn't figure out this whole teaching thing. So, what we do here on the Rookie Reset is to help you as a new teacher, provide you with practical, simple tools, tips, and strategies to help you stay in the game. I'm the professional learning. I'm the PD that you need. So come join us every Tuesday, 5:15, 5:45. That's my consistency. I'm not better to sit out here in front with y'all. But listen, we up in this thing every Tuesday. But today we are going to talk about establishing your off-season plan. Yes, y'all, that's what we're talking about. So, I know it's getting close to the end of the year, and I was talking to my one of my mentee, and you know what she said? She said, "Listen," she said, "Man, Fitz, I needed you at the beginning of this school year. So where was you at? I really needed to be thinking about some of these things in the beginning of school year." And I said, "Yes, that is true. I'm glad you're starting to think about this." But as I was reflecting on this, I thought about my basketball career. When I was in fifth grade, my coach, he pulled about four of us in a room. He said, "Listen, if you work hard, you're gonna earn a scholarship." And it got to my senior year, y'all. Y'all know how many scholarship offers I had the summer going into my senior year? You said zero, settle. I had none, not even a one. And when I got that reality that I was not being recruited, I remember we were at basketball camp, Shelby Metro. Shout out to all my ballers out there. And Coach Frank said, "Raise your hand if you being recruited." I raised my hand because I got a letter in the mail. And he said, "If you not getting a phone call, you not getting recruited." And I said, "Oh, I ain't received a phone call. I am not getting recruited." Newsflash. And it was it was not a culture shock, but it was a shock to me because I really thought I was out here doing something. But the reality was that in order for me to earn a scholarship, I recognized that I had to get better. So you know what I started doing? I started waking up at 5 a.m. I started going to the precinct at night. I started going outside and shooting. I started teaching myself how to shoot jump shots. I was doing push-ups. I was lifting weights. I was doing all these things that summer to get me ready for that next school year because I knew when coaches saw me in that summer and when they saw me playing, I needed to have my game right and tight when they pulled up and saw me. So by the end of that school year, I had three offers on the table. I went from zero offers to three. Well, how did that happen? It was all about what I did that off season. That's what helped me get better, and that's what set me up to earn that scholarship. As a teacher, you want to be thinking about those same things. You've had a full school year under your belt, and you want to think about, just like I was thinking about, okay, well, what do I need to improve on this off season? You want to take that same kind of mindset. And that mindset that I had as a basketball player, I took that in as a teacher. Every school year, when I got to the end of the year, I said, okay, how do I need to grow? How do I need to get better? How do I need to improve? What are the things that I'm crushing in my classroom? What are the things I need to improve on? Because you want to make those adjustments every school year, every summer. And I even sometimes will make adjustments within the school year. But the summer, because you have the time, this is a great time for you to elevate your teaching game. So even thinking about as a again as a basketball player, every year I made an adjustment. My first year, my coach pulled me in the office. He said, "You can't shoot." I said, "Oh, baby, I got to learn how to shoot." So I went that summer and I made 300 jump shots, and I taught myself to shoot. The next summer it was like, "Okay, girl, you got to be able to use your left hand. You need to be able to finish on the left side." I worked that summer on that. The next year it was like, "Okay, your quickness. Can we need you to be a little bit more a more what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think like have more agility." Made that adjustment. We need to work on your rebound. Worked on my jumping, like stuff like that. So every summer made an adjustment. And that's what you want to think about as a teacher. What are the things, what are the tools that I need to add to my toolkit so I can be even better next year? What can I build on? What are the things that I'm crushing in my classroom? All right, so let's talk about it. We're going to talk about how to establish your off-season plan. And this is also in the Rookies Playbook. There's a little, this is tip number 42, y'all. Game tip number 42. So the first one is, what's on your scouting report? Oh, Fitz, what the heck is a scouting report? Well, in basketball, every time that you play an opponent, you get a scouting report. So the person that you playing, they know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, they know what plays they run, and you're aware of that so that you know how to guard them. Like you know how to guard them on offense. When they're on offense, you know what type of defense, so you can know how to be on offense. Like you are already clear on where this person stands. So this is really about you being very honest with yourself. Like you getting real. Okay, how am I doing for real? Like in my class, like B100, they say we cannot change what we're unwilling to name. This is just about us getting honest. One of the best ways, even if you're unclear about, okay, what should I be working on next year? Get some feedback from a mentor or a coach. As I was talking to my mentor the other day. She said, yeah, I remember when I saw your class, and that whole back row of students, y'all, they didn't listen to nothing I said. They ain't listen to nothing I said. And she told me, she said, okay, you've got to have a better sense of what's going on in your class. I was up the board teaching, thought the folks was listening. But if she wouldn't have gave me that feedback, I wouldn't have known that. So if you're unclear about where you are and what you're doing well and where you need to grow, get some feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. It's how we grow. It's how we evolve. So ask someone that's already in the building to come see you teach if you're unclear about what you need to work on. I knew for me, I said, baby, I'm not yelling this next year. I'm not yelling. So I knew that was the adjustment that I had to make. I said, okay, girl, we got to stop yelling. So instead, we're going to have to develop some systems. But I also knew the one thing that I did do well that first year. Well, let me back up. Y'all. So a couple of questions you want to ask yourself. Number one, what did I do well this past school year? Where am I doing well so far? Like, so just thinking about the positives. What are the shines in your skill set? And the other part is, what are the refines? Where do I need to improve? Where did I have a hard time? As I told you before, I screamed. That was my classroom management. So I had to make some adjustments. I said, okay, wait a minute, girl. We can't, that was on my scouting report. They were like, okay, if we go to a class, she gonna yell. So you want to think about, if someone was coming to look at your classroom, they looking at your teaching practice, what are they gonna say about you? Like, what would they say? They say that I'm unorganized. They say that I have great relationships with students. Like, what do they say about you when they come look in your class? So just think about that. What's on your scouting report? Now from that scouting report, you want to identify, what is my big goal for next year. Like if I see I have this on my scouting report, I have that on my scouting report, what's my big goal for next year? It might be, I want to understand my curriculum better. It could be, I want to build my content knowledge. It could be, okay, mine was, I don't want to scream next year. My big goal was, instead of me screaming, I want to establish very strong systems. That was my big goal. I just want to have systems. I didn't have any. So that's just something about, what's my big goal? Looking at where you are. Okay, well, where do I want to spend my time in growing this summer? Because you want to be intentional and strategic about where you want to grow for the next year. The next thing is what is your why? And you want to think about that, because when you understand why you do something, you're more likely to do it. So I know sometimes in my own strength, I may not do things that I'm supposed to do. That's just straight up. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, if it's up to me, I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. just on my own. I think now it's like more natural. But you know what my why is? It is my fiance and my mom. I want to create a certain life for them. It's about freedom for me. That's my why. That's what gets me going. It was a time. I was listening to Eric Thomas. He was talking about that. He said what gets him going is, he said he's chasing a number because his wife had MS. So that he said I wanted to make sure that she lived a certain type of way. You know what I mean? But he was like, if it's just about me, he's like, I might not do it, But if it's like I'm chasing this purpose, I'm chasing this reason, then that why will get you going when the what gets hard. Because I promise you, I was like, man, I don't feel like doing. I thought about them. I said, okay, but let's go ahead and get up. Let's go and do what we got to do. Let's go sit at this computer. Let's send these emails. Let's go drop off these donuts. You know what I mean? So identify what's your why. Why would I want to do this? My why was, why I said I need to. My big goal was structures and systems. My why was I don't want to scream for another year. I'm tired of screaming, baby. I can't scream for another year. The kids didn't listen to me. They talked while I talked the whole year. I said, okay, girl, we got to have some systems. That was my motivation. Um, because I'm telling y'all, I promise you, I am not organized. Like, I'm not even better here in front, y'all. Like, I wish you could see my desk right now. It's a lot better, but I'm telling you, it's not my natural orientation. But you know what I wasn't gonna do? My why? I'm not screaming. I can't scream this year. It was so stressful. My first year was so stressful, and I don't want to scream. I didn't want to yell. I didn't have any structures. I didn't have any systems. So I said, okay, girl, that's my why. Even though it's not my natural orientation. I didn't want to experience that. And your why may be something different. Okay, so just identify what's your why for when the what gets hard, and it will. The next one is create a plan. So identify what you need to do in order to grow here. Do you need to attend a professional development? Do you need to work with a coach? What do you need to do? So for instance, you talk about me screaming every day. And I said that I wanted to develop systems. So what I did was I created what I call in the book the runner show. What needs to happen from the minute they walk in the door all the way down until the bell rings. Then when that 55-minute end, what needs to happen? First 5 minutes, I want them to do that do math. Now, okay, the next 1 to 2 minutes, we're gonna review 1 or 2 problems. The next 2 minutes, we open up the lesson. Then every minute was time step. But the other piece of it, I said, okay, not only do I need to map out what I want to happen, I need to identify how I want it to be done. So I literally wrote out what needs to happen and how it needs to be done. And I also thought about what systems I could put in place for every single part of my lesson. Okay, we doing the do now at the first 5 minutes. Okay, that's gonna be at the door. Let me put that on the table. They can pick that up on their way in, grab their calculator, go get the pencil. This is how we're gonna do that. So just think about what it is that you need to do to make it happen. Create a plan, because a goal without a plan is just a wish. Um, and one of the things I recommend, like a quick, easy way, is attending professional development. Now, one thing I want to say here, disclaimer: I'm not saying spend the whole summer working on your teaching game. Now, listen, you got to have a break. We out here. You got to take time to relax. You got to. But attending professional development, I know MSES used to give all the PD. You hear me? They gave all the PD. But attend some of those. And even me and some of my team, we would get together and we would just map out, okay, this what we're gonna teach, this how we're gonna teach it. So even some of those things to kind of think through, um, you know, what are you gonna do for the next school year? But just create a plan. PD, working with a coach, working with your mentors. I literally, from based on what you working on, like based on what I had, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do it? Because I'm not screaming. That's it. All right. So I would say with that, maybe identify 3 things that you can do to work on that. As I said, mine was uh timestamp, what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, and I even one of the things that I did, I instead of me waiting to the week of school started, I thought about these things before the what's that week before? Oh my gosh, I forgot. But the week that you come back in service, I thought about those things before. So I handled that. I was like, okay, I need to have a system for my calculators. All right, I need to and I literally ran through that the day before school started so that I can make sure that I was clear on everything, almost like a walkthrough of how my first day of school went. So having a syllabus, That was another one. I mean, it was. I mean, just identify three things that you can do to work on that. All right. And the last one, you all, is just have a growth mindset and get to work. That's it. We talked about last week that the um the stages of success, it's not going to be perfect the first time. So I just want to challenge you to give yourself grace and compassion as you grow through it. But yeah, just work your plan. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to always go well. My second year, the beginning of the year was a lot better than the first, but it did get a little off the chain as I got through the year. Like it wasn't as off the chain the first week like it was when I came in the middle of the year before. But the second semester, it was still a little hard. It really was. So just give yourself grace to grow. That's part of the growth mindset. I think that's different is we understand that we learn by doing. Like we're gonna grow through this. Like I'm gonna grow through this to become what it is that I desire. We're gonna grow through this. And I just want you to just keep that in mind because the rookie's playbook, y'all, tell people all the time, the rookie's playbook is literally because um, of the challenges and the mistakes that I made. I grew through those, hence how this book was created. So just give yourself the grace and compassion to grow through you becoming a phenomenal teacher. Because one thing you want to think about, success can only happen with the mindset to support it. We cannot outperform our beliefs. So you got to believe it's possible. This is as possible, and know that mistakes are a part of it. Just because you mess up in the process does not mean that you're not capable of becoming a great teacher. It's a part of the game. From the bottom to the top, from the bottom to the top. At one point, they were a new teacher. So just give yourself the grace to grow through that. But thank y'all so much for tuning in, and let's run through those 4 steps right quick. Number one, what's on your scouting report? Get real about where you are. What are you doing well? Where do you need to grow? And from those two things, identify what's your big goal. What's the thing that I really want to spend this summer working on, this off season, to that will elevate me as a teacher? Because it could be a lot of things, but just identify one. The next one is identify what's your why. So, what is the reason that you want to change this? As I told you before, listen, I ain't structured, but you know what my why was? Baby, I ain't screaming this year. So, that's why I'm going to develop some systems. So, it ain't got to be perfect. Just what's your why? What's going to get you going when the work gets hard? The next thing is create a plan. Identify 3 big rocks that will help you work on this particular area. So as I told you, mine was okay. What's the time step from the bottom? Let's say the bottom to the top. Y'all know the top to the bottom. From the minute they walk in all the way to the end. Okay. Well, how are they going to engage with that? All right. And the other part was like, okay, now I'm gonna think about this in advance of 1 week before school starts. I'm gonna think about this well bit. So just identify what are 3 things you could do to work on that. And then the last one is just have a growth mindset and get to work. Work your plan, but understand that mistakes are a part of it. Growth is messy, y'all. It's gonna be messy. We talked about it. The stages of success. It's not linear in the process. Even it took me maybe 3 years to get this down pat, but it definitely got better in year 2 because I had a plan. So just give yourself the grace to grow and make the mistakes that you need to become the teacher that you are. So that's all I got, y'all. That's it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. It has been a plum pleasing pleasure to serve y'all in the words of Les Brown. But we will be back next week. And as you go out this week, rookies, I want you to keep what I call that rookie state of mind. Well, what's that, Fitz? Remember, the level up is in the losses. Problems are a privilege. And yes, you might be new to this, but I know you're true to this because you're in this moment right now. And I believe in each one of you. So get out there this week and do those rookie reset push-ups. And we